You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vázquez.
Good evening, folks. I'm Freddy Vázquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. Tonight, I just want to talk about real quick the politically connected. Good evening, folks. Happy Monday. I also want to go over the nepotism article. The mayor responds to Corazon and Anthony Moranti. Good evening, folks. How's everything this Monday evening? Let's talk about the mayor and his response to the nepotism here in the city of Yonkers and the politically connected. I want to talk about that also. Jessica Gordon, I want to discuss that. The head of the South Broadway bid was over by the vendor, the street vendor location, coming out of the same parking lot as she was that day she got into it with the individuals there. I'll get into that in a second. But and also the Westchester Child Care Council of Westchester. I want to discuss that. That's why I have my shirt on. I want to talk about them a little bit and how, I've been purposely delayed. And so we're finding out some more stuff. But let's talk about the mayor and this nepotism thing, right? Corazon and Anthony Moranti, this is bipartisan, right? Democrat and a Republican got together and they did an editorial here on Low HUD. And so I want to go over that really quick. And he responds, over the past few weeks, several major news outlets, including the Journal News and the Post, have exposed a disturbing pattern of behavior by Yonkers Mayor Mike Spano. At least 14 direct relatives of Mayor Spano have jobs with the city, and as many as 23 clients of the mayor's lobbyist brothers have received city contracts or tax breaks. Taken together, it's hard not to conclude that Spano puts the need of his family and friends first. Everyone else in the city comes second. The two of us represent totally different values and disagree on many, if not most, major issues of governance and policy. But we do agree on one thing. The job of the mayor is to serve the taxpayers and citizens and only them. It's quite possible we will run against each other for mayor of Yonkers following the primaries in June. At the same time, we are colleagues and friends. And that's why we are taking the extraordinary step of speaking out together. We are doing this out of necessity to turn off the taxpayer-funded gravy train that the Spano family has exploited for 12 years. The people of the city deserve better. The cost of the mayor's behavior is staggering. In just 1 year, the Spano family reaped over $2 million of taxpayer-funded salaries and benefits from the city government. On top of that, the mayor's lobbyist brothers are paid at least $65,000 per month to represent clients that have business before the city. These clients have raked in hundreds of millions of dollars worth of tax breaks for projects around Yonkers under 12 years of Spano reign. This is taxpayer money that could otherwise be used to fund schools, cut taxes, rebuild infrastructure, build affordable housing, equip our police and fire departments, or any other priority. Instead, it is going into the pockets of the Spano family and friends network, right? And so I want to go to the next article here, which is, by the way, I wanted to also mention that there was an article on Lenny Spano, but that's for subscribers only. And so the mayor responds, I'm the mayor of Yonkers. This is why I'm looking forward. The recent opinion piece from my opponents in the Yonkers mayoral race, council members Anthony Moranti and Corazon Pineda-Isaac, is more notable for what they didn't say than what they did. Let's start with term limits, which they claim to favor. Their record speaks otherwise. In 2019, Moranti voted in favor of extending terms without a public referendum. Now that he wants to be mayor, he's reversed himself. Of course, he doesn't mention that inconvenient fact. Corazon Pineda Isaac voted against extending term limits in 2018, but after a council majority extended them anyway, she went ahead and ran for a third term. So after saying on the floor of the council chamber that no one should serve more than 2 terms, she's now in the middle of her third. The upshot: when it comes to term limits, we have one candidate who's a flip-flopper and another who wants it both ways. They attack members of my family for serving on the city payroll, never mentioning that several of them worked for the city long before I became mayor, some of them for more than 20 years. Others serve as police officers and firefighters, having taken written exams and being hired when their scores came up in order, just like anyone else. I'm proud of every member of my extended family who chooses to put their life on the line to protect the city and the people in it. Councilwoman Pineda Isaac doesn't mention her own sister went to work for the city well after she was elected, and that her mother also has a government position. Pineda Isaac herself holds a patronage position in the Westchester County Department of Economic Development, in addition to her council member job in Yonkers. That's 4 government jobs in her own immediate family. Is this really a basis to criticize others? Finally, Moranti and Pineda criticized the tax incentives provided by the Yonkers Industrial Development Agency, to which the mayor is the chair. Let's talk about those, because my opponents leave out some important facts. Every tax incentive is analyzed by an outside specialist that also serves other areas, IDAs, and the incentives adopted by the IDA board rarely, if ever, depart from the specialist formula-driven analysis. These analyses, along with all other information about tax incentives, are publicly posted on the IDA website for all to see. Curiously, Moranti and Pineda Isaac have never raised an objection with the IDA about any tax incentive. Some of these companies hire lobbyists, including sometimes my brother's firm, to obtain state and county assistance. But no lobbyist plays any role in determining Yonkers' tax incentives. Fully 27% of all tax incentives provided by the IDA during my time as mayor have been specifically to construct affordable housing. We are leading in the county in providing new housing of all types, and affordable housing especially. Without the incentives, none of these affordable units would be built. Which of those housing developments do my opponents object to? Every dollar of the remaining incentives goes to providing new businesses and jobs in Yonkers, which is one reason our city's economy is booming and our unemployment rate is so low. I am a veteran of many campaigns and well know that criticism is a part of healthy political process. I also believe that criticism shouldn't be based on cherry picking certain facts and ignoring others. When that happens, it's not the candidates who suffer, it's the voters. For that reason, I will continue a positive campaign focusing on the very real choices facing the people of the city of Yonkers. And so what do you guys have to say about that? And I said this early on. I said that, Corazon Pineda Isaac was going to be an easy target because of the fact that she has been there 9 years. She has voted a lot with the mayor. She was supported by the mayor. The Spanos have thrown fundraisers for her. Her mom's works for the city. Her sister worked for the city very recently. She's taken full advantage of the perks, the benefits that other council members take, and have access to, which I've often, and many of you folks have criticized, such as the cars. And, I've got sources also telling me that she's crashed 3 cars, and I hear that this is going to be coming out. So now it's the war of the low HUD articles, right? So, we're going to see one article come out, then another article. And today or yesterday, an article came out in regards to Lenny Spano and how he's benefited since the mayor, his uncle, has been in office, right? He's the son of Nick Spano. And he's recently been promoted, I believe, up at DPW to become an assistant commissioner, assistant deputy or something like that, deputy commissioner, but he's pretty much high up there. And he did so without taking the test or scoring very low on the test. When he did take it, he was given the job first, I hear, and then he took the test, but he scored low, but he still was given the position, right? That's what I'm hearing. I didn't read the low article on that because it's subscriber only. I don't know why they did that one, subscriber, and I don't have a subscription. So if anyone has it, wants to post it, that'd be great. But again, going back to Corazon, like I said, she was going to be an easy target because of this. And now when she's saying, that she's against the term extension. And she's now for, increasing funding to education, crime. She was saying that crime is up, but now she's saying it is the safest big city. She agrees with the mayor. However, certain areas are not safe. So people who live in those areas do not feel that way, right? They don't feel, and I, that's true. But then here's the other point. That's your area, right? It's your area and it's Tasha Diaz's area. So it's like, I mean, they got you there too. So, this is what I saw coming. And I saw, I knew this was going to happen. Anthony Moranti, the same with Moranti. And I don't dislike either one of them. I'm not here to bash them on behalf of the Spanos. I'm just, I'm honest and I give it to you unbiased, right? And so, and I've been saying this before with Anthony Moranti, the accountant who, is a tax guy, tax help. But we should have known, right? He was John Rubel's accountant, and now John Rubel's having tax issues, right? He's in trouble with the IRS, I hear. But Moranti should have been pointing out a lot of this, issues that he may be pointing out now, in terms of the unnecessary spending, the wasteful spending. We need more money for the schools. You're absolutely right. But initially, and I will give credit to Moranti, Moranti was one of the council members that signed the letter to Liam McLaughlin for the investigation into Mike Cater. He didn't sign it the second time. I don't know what the issue was there, what the situation was when they redrafted a second letter. But Corazon signed both letters, and now that investigation has cost the city, $800,000, $900,000. So think about how much, that could have done for our schools, right, that we speak about, if we had put that money there instead of having this investigation that many of us know is bogus, right? It's not worth $900,000. It's definitely not. And so that's wasteful spending. And you didn't have an issue with that before. Affordable housing, you weren't one of the three that was championed for it. So these issues are going to come up, right? And I mentioned these issues. So it kind of leaves people, a bit unsure of who to vote for, because even those who don't want to vote for Spano are saying, I'm not sure if I want to vote for Corazon. What about Moranti? Are you guys going to vote for Moranti if you don't want to vote for Corazon or Mayor Spano, whether you're a Democrat or not, right? You just want to vote for someone other than the two. I don't know. Moranti, anyone? I like Moranti. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. But I thought he should have done a better job looking through the budget, right? Whenever they went up and had meetings on the budget, I felt that, he should have done more in terms of really analyzing it, because there are things there. I mean, the New York State Comptroller's report, that's something that Anthony Moranti could have brought up, being a tax guy, finance guy. You would think that they would read that report, right? If the New York State Comptroller does an analysis of the budget that you guys are supposed to review and approve, which is your primary responsibility, I would want to know what the New York State Comptroller has to say about it, right? I want to know, how are we doing? So that should have been done, and it should have been mentioned. Hey, by the way, guys, did you know that, the comptroller believes that we're spending way too much money on overtime. We're also, not managing one-shot money deals, properly. We're using it to add recurring costs, and maybe that's not a good idea, because then we have to figure out how we will cover that expense the following year, right? And so these are things that were important that should have been mentioned. They're still important. I mean, they still should be mentioned. But Anthony Moranti did not ever mention this. Now you guys are running for mayor. Now you guys are bringing it up. But I agree with you guys 1,000%. You guys are right. So, I don't know. It's a tough one, man. It's really a tough one. Mike Spano has all the momentum going into this election. He's the incumbent. He has the connection. He has the money. I'm hearing they got like $3 million raised or something like that. You know what I mean? This guy's working with millions. He's got a lot of support. So it's going to be a tough one. And by the way, I saw Reverend Margaret Coleman today. I saw her on Lockwood, actually, near the daycare center. I said, hello, we spoke. And she said, Margaret, I'm sorry, Reverend Coleman, excuse me, I said, people are talking. They're saying that they don't hear much from you, that you're not really, they're not seeing you. You're not, making a presence, I guess, right? And she said, no, she told me, she said, no, I've been, speaking, doing town hall meetings, I guess, through Zoom. I have seen her signs go up. I've seen some of the businesses, post her signs. She's told me where she had banners and stuff in place. And I said, listen, you come on the show. I've invited her many times. I did. The invitation is still there, so you can speak on it. We can stick to the platform. I'm not looking to create any kind of drama. Absolutely not. And if you look at all my other interviews with the elected officials, that's not what ever happened, right? So come on here. It's a good way to speak to people, especially those who have mentioned this to me via social media or in person. They want to know what you got to say. They're not hearing much from you. And I'm not saying you're not doing anything. I think she might have, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just saying this is what people are saying to me, and so I was just kind of passing that along. But anything, I welcome you to send me via text or whatever a link so I can share it on my podcast, tag me in it, so that way I can share it, because I want to share everybody's stuff. It doesn't matter if it's Spano. I'm sharing some of the stuff too. Everyone gets to share. I don't want to be, biased, and I don't want to influence anyone. I just want to put the information out there. You guys make the decision. Hope you make the right decision. But so there you go, Margaret Coleman. Again, the invitation is still there. This is just what people were saying. But she does say that she does put things up on her Facebook page, which I will admit I haven't been going onto her page. But if you guys are interested, she did say that there's stuff there that you can go check out. She's also doing town hall meetings. She says she has them via Zoom. So if you want to join those, again, I don't know much about them, but you can check out the page, and she says there's stuff there. So check it out. I don't know, Mark. I'm just saying, you know me, Freddy, you know how I do. I'm gonna say things that Spano's got all the corruption, nepotism, too. But I'm just gonna say it. I like to point out the elephant in the room. It's just how I always been, and so that's why I mentioned that. But this is a tough one. I mean, again, Spanos is the incumbent. He's got the history, he's got the money, he's got the city employees, so you have to really pack a punch. I don't know. I just, maybe I don't know any better, right? I'm not, she is, Reverend Coleman is an experienced elected official. I believe you were elected at in some other state, but was an official in some capacity at some point. So I don't have that experience. So, but I'm just saying, I like to make noise, obviously, I scream and yell. This is, hey guys, check me out. Look, I'm hitting my mic, so that's just all I'm saying. But hey, you do how you do. I'm not knocking it. This is Jessica Gordon. She was spotted over there by where the food cart vendor was, where she got into that altercation, and she was wearing a Tasha Diaz shirt. She's wearing a Tasha Diaz. She supports Tasha Diaz. Is it surprising to anyone? I mean, we saw the way she handled that situation, and that's a la Tasha Diaz, right? That's her style. I mean, Tasha Diaz's style is pretty much to yell at the Mexican-American community here in the city of Yonkers. Just yell at them. Call them beggars, question whether or not they have permits, or check their green cards, why don't you, while you're at it, right? I mean, geez, that you might as well, you're harassing them. That's what they like to do through their minions. This is what I say. They use individuals, throughout different, agencies and capacities, in different capacity, different positions to, target you, right? So this is Jessica Gordon. She's one of those individuals. She's a Tasha Diaz. So they appoint you to certain positions, and these people will act like they're pit bulls and stuff like that. And so today, I'm a little bit upset, but I'm also happy because I don't know what's up with these people. I don't know who are these people that just want to, just inject themselves into my life. Today I get a call from the Child Care Council of Westchester. Apparently somebody has a problem with my summer program. Look, the summer hasn't even started. We're still in spring, aren't we? Right? Or are we in summer? I don't remember. I believe we're still in spring. School's still not out for the summer. The summer program has not started yet, and still someone's already calling anonymously to complain about our summer program. This is what you have to deal with. This is what I have to deal with. This is the problem that I've been dealing with for I don't know how long now. I put up signs about the summer program. The next day they take them down. Never done that before. There's signs there that are faded, obviously been there for months, and there's still signs up. So I don't know who it is that's just watching me, that's just looking for any opportunity to, try and give me a problem, right? So the lady calls me, after I received an email and where she mentions that she wants to speak to my wife. See, because my wife is nice, right? This is what I mean. This is why I got to step in and be who I am, because my wife is nice, and people take advantage of that. people will try to walk all over her. And I don't like that. She's very sweet. Unfortunately, she gives too many people the benefit of the doubt. And I don't like that, because they take advantage of it. And so, lady implied ultimately that she, would rather talk to my wife. And I said, I'm sure you would, because she's the good cop. I'm the bad cop. When there's a problem, that's when I step in, which is why I suggest that you try to help us out so you can deal with her and not me. Lady, I don't like the way you guys are harassing us. Who is it that keeps calling you? Right? Don't you find it strange that you're constantly getting called about little prodigies? I mean, the last time they sent people to our the center, it was some guy there who was being very aggressive, who represented himself as CPS. Then he was insulting to me when I got there and told me that reading was fundamental, implying that I cannot read. Right? So I say to this lady, who she knew exactly what I was talking about, and she knew exactly what he said because she watched the video, and she said, well, he said reading is fundamental. I said, yeah, that's rude, that's disrespectful, and unprofessional. Why do you have a guy like that still working for you? Why do you send a guy like that to a center, a place where there's children? The only time we ever had an issue of safety concern at the center was when the Child Care Council of Westchester sent their goon to our place. And it kind of, frightened the staff that they didn't want to open the door. And the guy's representing himself as CPS. And he's being aggressive to the woman that he was with because he wanted her to represent herself as CPS. And we have cameras there. So you can go ahead and say that that's not what happened. So, and when we end up in court because you guys are giving us this problem, I'll show it then. And then you can, decide how you want to try to defend that. Okay. Because this guy was very threatening, very aggressive, and I didn't appreciate that. Now they're getting another call. We didn't even start the damn program yet. And so she goes, well, you're enrolling people, right? Yeah, absolutely, we're enrolling people. Absolutely. And you got a problem with that? Right? We haven't even started yet. How do you know what we're doing? Oh, well, you put it on your Facebook. Oh, so you watch my page then, Child Care Council of Westchester. I said to them, do you watch the page of the other guy? The Academic Center / Hookah Lounge. Do you watch that page? Have you ever seen the advertisements for the Hookah Lounge fight nights at the Academic Center? Do you go and investigate that? Is anyone calling concern with that? Huh? You have kids in there by day, you bring in the party at night. Because there's plenty of pictures of the people smoking all kinds of stuff in the front with the sign above their heads. Academic Center. When people try and stop by my daycare because they have to smoke a cigarette or anything, I get out there right away because I see in my cameras, you got to go. Had some high school kids from Saunders try to light a joint. I said, guys, this is a child care center. You know that, right? So the kids here, right? I have to let them know. So I don't do things like that, but obviously they do there. Obviously they allow smoke to be filled up in the room. So then the next day the kids can smell that. And what about any alcohol that may be spilled on the floor? Is it cleaned up properly? Is it disinfected before the kids enter? Is that okay with you? She said, well, I don't know, if they doing it after hours. So the Child Care Council of Westchester has no problem with a place that cares for children being a hookah club at night where they serve alcohol. No problem with that. When people smoke in front of the place, no problem with that. Right? But they want to harass Freddy Vázquez, a place that does not need their support, does not need their recommendation, because we get business via word of mouth. Parents tell other parents how great we are. And in fact, we have other agencies that refer kids who are fragile, because they know that we are the place to send kids who need special care, need more attention, people who are not just there to collect a check. We're not just babysitters. It's not what we do. And so this is the harassment that I've been dealing with at my center. She says she's going to look into it. I said, are you? Because I told you about it now. I can send you pictures and videos of both the inside and out. And by the way, they don't have that fire system you're requiring that we have. Oh, and by the way, I don't need that damn fire system that they've been requiring, because I'm not a large daycare center. So apparently, the standard that they've been holding me to does not apply to me. Did they not know that? Why are they getting paid up there if they don't know the regulations? How are they licensing people if they don't know the difference between a large daycare center, greater than 100 kids, or a small daycare center? We don't have more than 21 kids. Well, that's the most we can have. So why are they requiring us to have this fire system with pull stations? And I knew something was funny about that. I said, this place isn't that big. By the time they get to the pull stations, everyone will be out the center. Who are they going to pull the alarm for? Everyone will know about a fire, regardless of where you're standing in the center. It's not that big. They've also made me have multiple fire extinguishers when state regulation only requires one for every 300 square feet. 3,000 square feet. Well, we're no more than 3,000 square feet. But they made us get a bunch of them. We have to pay for each one to get inspected every 6 months. All we have to have is what they initially told us in the beginning: the fire alarm, the smoke detectors. That's it for our size. And they told us that. But when we were about to be done, finally, to finalize everything, all of a sudden we needed a $10,000 fire system. And so, okay, let's do it. But then all of a sudden, our landlady doesn't like us. She doesn't want to talk to us. Only through her pain in the ass attorney by the name of John D'Onofrio. Mr. D'Onofrio is a pain in the ass. And he's probably going to try to make it hard after I say this, but I don't give a shit because I don't kiss ass, yo. I don't. I'm never going to kiss ass. Just do the right thing and I'll do the right thing. Otherwise, we'll go about it a different way. So all this time, I've been delayed for absolutely no reason. What this delay has done is prevented us from receiving our subsidies, our payments from the states. So essentially, many of the kids that we have been servicing, we have done so for free. Yeah, free. Going on 2 years for some. Free. Free. Because we know how important it is that they get the, services that we provide. And many of our kids have done extremely well since coming to our place, which is why parents want them to go anywhere else and why they've recommended other parents. And so tomorrow, I'm going to call the state and notify them of their incompetence and question whether or not this Mr. Romano, is he related to Joe? Is he related to Andy? Is he related to Dan? You know, those guys that I exposed for buying tax lien properties on the low for super cheap, like $2,500 cheap. Is this why? I don't know. Just thinking out loud. Same place that Vereshchako's sister works at, the woman that gave us wrong information. Maybe it was an accident. But I do know that Zahi Jerris, the guy that sued me for $1 million, was very instrumental in helping Vereshchako become a $200,000 city court judge. Did he say, hey, your sister needs to delay this guy? Because no one seems to know that we are a small daycare center. They've been to the place. They know how many kids we can have. And so when we've been asking about this stupid fire system, none of them said, hey, you know what? Actually, you don't need it. You're a small daycare center. You're not a huge daycare center with hallways and, floors. You don't need it, according to the state regulation. So while the Child Care Council of Westchester lady is trying to tell me that she's only trying to help, she has done nothing to help us. She made no mention of this. She didn't say, hey, let me try to figure this out for you guys. We want you up and running. We know how much they need daycare centers, child care centers. UPKs in Yonkers, especially ones that are so amazing like yours. In fact, 2 new kids today. Yeah, I said it. 2 new kids today. So we don't have to attack our competitors. We don't have to, hold hookah lounges in order to sustain ourselves at night. We don't have to be connected and get money from the city through our connections. We did it all on our own, and we have survived and sustained ourselves, and we're still here. And so this is why I talk about different people, regardless if they're elected or not, because some of these individuals will work to hurt you. And it doesn't have to be anything major. It could be something as simple as forgetting to tell you that you are a small daycare center and have different set of requirements. See, it's that simple. We don't tell him this. That delays him, right? And so now tomorrow, I'm also going to be speaking to my attorney and seeing what we could do, because I swear I want to do something about this. I want to sue people. Whether I win or not, screw it. Let's sue them, because they have hurt me financially. They have put us through the ringer unnecessarily. They have caused us delays unnecessarily. Individuals who are connected politically, connections that are very clear. So I'm going to come for you. I don't care if I get my shit opened up. I'm still going to come for, it is opened up. Everything good to go the way it needs to be. I'm going to still come for you, because that's wrong. And that's what these people do, because they get positions through patronage positions. Zahi Jarris hooks the sister up, or so-and-so hooks this person up. Now you got to do me a favor. Delay this guy. Cause this person problems at the building department. Like Mr. Reap, Michael Rappy, whatever your name is. Remember you, who held on to my plans for 3 weeks after telling me to turn them in quickly because it was a time-sensitive thing, and you wanted to do me the favor of reviewing them for me quickly so I can turn them in without any issues, but you held them for 3 weeks, all marked up, after you yourself reviewed it and told me exactly what I needed to do. But you must have forgot all these additional markings that you made 3 weeks later, huh? You just totally forgot that I needed that stuff too now? So 3 weeks later, I have to go and amend my plans again. So make a rappy. I'll put you in the lawsuit personally too. You shouldn't have been doing that shit. You should have been helping people. And that's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of these people who work for the city. They get the hookup jobs, and now they owe it to people to do what they need them to do. And if that's to screw you over, that's exactly what they will do. Sorry, cocksuckers. So all it is. The hookah place on Tucker Hole Road, I believe. Yeah, that's the hookah place on Tucker Hole Road. Fight night and children's academics all in one. But hey, the Child Care Council, and it's funny because at first she knew exactly what I was talking about. Then later in the conversation, she must have forgot and said, oh, I don't know, there's a lot of them. Which ones are you referring to? The one on Tucker Hole, the one you said that you knew exactly, and that you knew that they were, they had everything in order that they needed. She knew all about their case, and they don't have a fire system like they were requiring us. Interesting. Is it because you knew that they were a smaller place and didn't need it, and you told them right away? Is it because they're the city council president's friends? I'm not the only one that's been screwed by this duel, this tag team, this group of individuals. Another person was also screwed by them, and she was ready to come on here and let it all out. But I said, nah, let's not get messy. I already have a lot of issues with them. I'm going to handle it. Don't worry. We're going to do the right thing. We're going to get your stuff going as well. All right? And screw them, because anybody that does things like that ultimately fails. And so that is why they don't like when I talk about it and expose it. That is why people like DJ DJ Good Times, Goody. Hey, Goody. This guy's in the parade with his van full of speakers. And as I walk by, he says, there goes Freddy Vázquez, the bonchinchero, which in Spanish means the gossiper. No, you're the gossiper, because you're talking about somebody that you don't really know and doesn't know you, has no business with you. You have no business with him, yet you're injecting yourself into his business. You're the bochinchero. Anyone I speak about has injected themselves into my business. So now I've made it my business to talk about their business. So if you don't want me to discuss your business, I suggest you stay out of my business. That's how I work. It's that simple. So it's up to you. The ball is in your court. But either way, I'm going to do what I do. So if you want to go that route, then let's go. How long do you think I can go? I can go forever. What about you? Do you want to deal with me? I don't think so. So I suggest you guys get it together up there, OCFS, Child Care Council of Westchester, because you guys get a lot of money. For what? What are you really doing? You guys get like $10 million a year. What are they really doing? Zahi's wife is now earning over $100,000 a year after leaving and stabbing Cater. Yeah, this is what they do. They use people, right? They have minions planted all over. This is what they do. She was a mole. She was there working on behalf of, her husband to take down her own husband's cousin. Then she took a break because she needed and he don't like when I talk about his wife. Well, guess what? Stop fucking with me. How about that, Seda? You should tell your husband not to make your son the bag man. It's not okay. So until you stop fucking with me, I'm not going to stop fucking with you. How about that? And I'm going to blame everything on you guys. I don't care. Because you're the only ones I have an issue with. You're the ones that suing me. Right? Right, Seda? And guess who told me about your illegal apartments? Tenants. Tenants. There you go. Tell your lawyer that. It's tenants. Your own tenants. They told me they give you the money, Seda. I know a lot of people. Freddie, have you heard about the migrant tents on Nepperhan? No, where at? Nepperhan where? But I'm seeing a lot of just migrant tents all over. I don't know if they're migrants. I just believe they're to be homeless. You go on, Linden Street, or Elm Street. You see, migrants there that, don't look like they have somewhere to go. They'll be sitting there sleeping. Others will be talking. They'll be just hanging out there. Maybe they didn't get work for that day. But it's definitely, becoming, kind of crazy out here, right? I mean, it's like weird because they're bringing in these developments. There's the movie studios and it's saying it's getting better, but is it? It looks like it's getting worse. Yonkers looks worse to me. I don't know about you guys. It's super crowded. There's, homeless all over the place, people on drugs. You have to see this girl that I saw the other day in the store. I don't know what she was on. But I've seen her a couple times at that store, trying to hold herself up, wobbling back and forth. She just stops, and then it's just sad. It's just crazy. It's unbelievable. I've never seen that before in Yonkers. We had our issues, but it's just crazy. It's just very crazy nowadays. I would like to see that, though. I haven't seen the migrants. I'll check it out over there on Nepperhan. So, no, I have not seen that. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that. So Child Care Council of Westchester, whoever calls you, ask them for their name, ask them why they keep harassing us. What is it that they just can't get us out of their minds? Think about what you guys are doing, because I'm starting to look up your financial information, you guys, all that stuff. I'm going to try to find something there. You guys are a private nonprofit. Stop acting like the police, man. All right, relax and watch your RoboCop guy there, Philip, the black guy, the black guy. I say that because she was like, why you got to talk about his race? Because he's black, and I want you to make sure you know which one I'm talking about, because you guys like to forget things. I work with the population, and there's no help for them. Is that the migrant population? Are you referring to the migrants or the homeless? They don't really care about the homeless people. The homeless people don't vote. They don't have a place to live. They can't register to vote. They don't care. They really don't care. They're just trying to find some kind of solution for them. In the meantime, they don't matter. They don't care. People only care about themselves. Anyway, folks, I'm Freddy Vázquez. Anything else on here? Check out Shatika Parker fundraiser luncheon. Will you be attending? Yeah, they sent Blade. I know. Blade came to intimidate me. I mean, they watch my podcast. I mean, you gotta hear this lady, man. She tells me that they actively watch my podcast, right? That's a little spooky that you guys are following me that close. I don't understand it. And all my phones record that when you guys call, at least at the office anyway. I was calling from the office. My phones in the office automatically record. That's just just for quality assurance purposes, right? We have to record. So the thing here is that the child care license. So there's different types of ways you could go about it. So what we do is we do school age children. So that's different. You don't need and it's weird. You don't need this fire thing that they've been telling us we needed for the school age children. A title, but if you want to do child care title, you do. And the difference is that school age children, you'll be in there with school, you're doing UPK services, and they're older than 3. But if you get a child care license, then that allows you to have kids under the age of 3, right? Which obviously UPK, there's no kids under the age of 3, and then we can do the after school programming also, because it's within a certain amount of hours. It's only 3 hours. So we are operating legitimately, but we're trying to get the full childcare license, so we're not restricted, right, by these limitations, and so that we can ultimately, get in younger kids if we want to do that, or whatever else. And then it's strange because we also have to refrain from doing more than 2 activities. Right, which is crazy. So until we get the license, the childcare license, we can't do more than 1 activity. Which I don't. What do you mean by that? So it's so stupid, right? So that's where we at with it now. So we're looking to get the childcare license, so we don't have these restrictions. We can do more than 1 activity. This is I'm telling you the truth. This is a real thing that they told us. We have to be limited to 1 activity with the children, right? Okay. Well, the activity is UPK, so that's cool, but that's the issue with us. What we're trying to do is get the full the child care license, so we don't have those restrictions or whatever. And so we've had to put this fire. So I guess they're calling about our summer camp, which we haven't even started yet, lady. But they already jumping the gun. These people. This is how thirsty they are to come at me and whoever is calling them. It's unbelievable. No, that's not correct. Now that's a lie. So yes, my wife submitted an application to. So we want to also extend our program into schools. We were saying, well, school 5 is there. Maybe we can get in a program in there, since a lot of the kids, and we have a relationship with the school. But she didn't withdraw it. They told her that we only had a certain amount of time to get the fire system that we need up, right? So because the deadline came up for that, they said, well, we can't hold your application or have it open anymore because you don't have the fire systems up, so you can get the full childcare license. So they're not giving us all the way correct information, right? And then they also not telling us that we don't need the childcare license for the after school programming. I'm sorry, for the summer camp. That's if we're going to take kids under age 3, but we're not planning on doing that in the summer program. Oh, so why are you calling? Why don't you wait till we do the summer camp and then we have kids under the age of 3 before you come in? Give us an issue. So they're jumping the gun, these people. And she says, oh, we're trying to help. We just want to help you. But you don't. Because all you're trying to do is be punitive. All you're looking to do is inspect and see if we're doing something wrong. But if we were, we would be shut down. But we're not, because we're not doing anything wrong. We're operating legitimately. So anyone who has an issue, those who called Can kiss my Puerto Rican ass. I'm Freddy Vázquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. You people make me sick. And, you know, there's a such thing as karma. And you're going to get it if you're not already getting it. Because, you know, some of these people are just miserable people. Their karma is their life, a miserable life. I mean, Brian Harrod. I mean, look at the man. You can understand why he is so angry, why he attacks people for a living. I mean, I don't know if I would attack people for a living if I were him, but I may be angry at the world because I have amounted to nothing. A big pile of poop that sits in front of his computer all day in a free apartment, committing welfare fraud, making a few bucks with his pedophile buddy, who he once exposed until he realized I can make money with the pedophile. And that's what they do. And so moving forward, I do want to put this out there to all the elected officials. Whenever I see you guys, I will have a copy of that article on the pedophilia with this pedophile. And I'm going to ask you, why is it that you engage in business or in interviews with this man? Read it for yourself. And you should be ashamed of yourself. Every time I see elected officials moving forward, I'm going to have that article with me. Since you want to call, you want to harass me, whether it's you, Ru, or not, whoever it is, the people that pay for it will pay for it. I suggest you find out, tell that person to stop, because I'm Freddy Vázquez. I don't give a fuck. And by the way, Mr. Xavier Thompson, I don't know who you are, but I don't hide. You know my face. I want you to come do something for free. Please tell me where you at. Which department do you work for? I'll come to your job anytime, anytime. And I won't call the cops. I promise. I've never called the cops. And I usually get the cops called on me. It's usually how it goes. So as long as you don't call the cops, I'll meet you anywhere. But first, I have to know who you are. You'll never be tough hiding behind a fake page.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
And you see me. I'm telling it to you. I'm a different breed. So moving forward, people can fight.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddy Vázquez.
I ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. You better get used to me.
Freddy wins.
'Cause I'm not going anywhere. And the more you challenge me, the more I accept. And I love to win.
Freddy wins. Fatality.
No!